What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Camper Report. Basically, today we don't have a big show. I'm going to keep this quick. Going to try to be, I'm usually a really, really high volume speaker. I speak at a very high volume, but because we're in a different location here, which I have to be slightly quieter. But we have to keep this one quick. It's going to be an exciting show. We already have people in the comments, which is great. First time streaming for in a while. I mean, I've been obviously at this conference for a week. It's been good, but can't wait to get back and streaming. Obviously, I told you guys that I would be interviewing different content creators from different fan bases. I still will be doing that when I get back. But I mean, first off, let's get into the comments a little bit. This is basically what the show is about. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be talking about Dalvin Cook, maybe a little bit DeAndre Hopkins, but drop your comments drop your comments in the comment section. So Payo Time comes in here and says, I think Cook, Eckler, and Henry all come to the Rams and form the great three-headed monster at running back ever. They would nickname them like the Rambarus, which would be, yeah, that's a good one. Or because it's like Rams Cerebrus, a guy can dream. I mean, I don't know if that's going to actually happen. I don't know if they all play there. I would like to know your thoughts on that a little bit because, the Rams, if really it all depends on the health of Matthew Stafford and what he can do. I just don't know. With him at this point in his career, you'd almost have to limit what he does in practice during the week. And then even during the games, like you'd almost have to, hold on a second. How long are they going to be like that? Damn. This is interesting. Damn. Okay. I might have to move you guys real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm almost back. I found a spot. I will be with you guys very shortly. And hopefully we can figure this thing out because that is unfortunate that somebody was playing blasting music right there. Obviously, I'm in. It's called the Denver. What it's basically called is the Denver Event Center. It's a big deal. It's actually really cool because they have this pavilion with like 4,000 seats in it. It's very big pavilion, and so that's where actually I've been doing most of. There's been a lot of events there that I've been attending all day, like 5-hour conferences for real. So it's definitely a big thing. But I'm just trying to find out where I can maybe do this streaming with no blasting new music. Honestly, for right now, I should be able to do it right here, even though there's going to be some foot traffic going on soon, about 10 minutes. So let's hope that we can get some streaming time from here. So I'm going to make this thing quick. Got 4 people in the stream. Okay, what's good, guys? Yeah, so we've got 4 people present in the stream. Pretty good. So anyways, I'll get back to the comments real quick. I'm currently sitting on the floor. Let me get my mouse out. Let's see here. Tell me if you guys can hear me okay. Let's see. Don't not know where my earbud went. Assuming it probably dropped out of my pocket or I put it in my bag. That's okay. I'll just connect it to my earbud, but that is all right. Actually, it's right there. Okay, cool. So let's get to this kind of a little bit of a Q&A. So, I mean, I don't know. The whole thing with the Rams is obviously injuries for a big thing. And if you're Matthew Stafford and you're the Rams trying to limit him, you probably want to even limit how many times he throws in a game to kind of limit that elbow and his arm fatigue. Because if you do that, I think the Rams, if they actually want to win, they need to get a running back who can carry the ball. I wouldn't think Dalvin Cook would be that type of guy because Dalvin Cook I think at this stage in his career, he's not a workhorse back anymore because he's just not the type of dude. I mean, if they give him a multiple amount of carries, he will probably get injured. They used James Madison a lot more last year, the Vikings. And so that's why I think you probably Dalvin Cook's. Now, again, the Rams do have Akers. I forgot about him. So Dalvin Cook would actually be a great addition. It's just the Rams, obviously, as everyone knows, that they kind of are rebuilding. A lot of Rams fans will argue with me, but in my opinion, they don't really have the talent right now to compete for a Super Bowl. So it's like, would Dalvin Cook even want to go there? So if you're the Rams, it's like you still have not that much salary cap space. It's like, I don't know if Dalvin Cook, I don't think would come there for any less than $7 million, $8 million, because it's just when you're a not so good team like the Rams, you have to pay premium for players. Question: if the NFL realigned their division, would you want all 4 CAT teams in the same division? Panthers, Jaguars, Lions, and Bengals. Sorry. Why did I read that? I apologize, guys. I am Cat. I'm a silly boy. I'm a silly man. I have had like 13 hours of sleep in the last 3 days, which some of it has definitely been my fault. Some of it is not my fault. We've had some long days here at this conference thing. So apologize if I do something stupid like that because I've not had much sleep. Are you at a concert rocking the suit and a great wristband? Yeah, I got the wristband. No, I'm at a conference. It's basically like a patriot leadership thing where we get to know the whole process of like what legislature is in the House of Representatives. It's a whole government thing, government conference. Life of a nomad streamer. I think he probably put this comment in here, Payo time, when when I was moving around and had my camera and mic off, because there was like this person blasting loud music. I mean, where I was set up was the perfect area, and then this guy had to ruin it. I mean, there was a bunch of cleaners over in that area, It's actually really crazy because this place, you can't, so it's called the Denver Events Center, and you can't stream in here unless you have permission. I got permission. The guy was like, the media guy was like, yeah, you're fine. Just go over there and stream. So, I mean, I got great favor there. Sounds like a cool event. Yeah, it is. Ben is witness protection program. He is hiding out. Who is after him? you know, I whatever you want to think, you can think that. Yeah. Again, guys, I'm going to probably, so I did have an announcement on Twitter and YouTube that I'll probably be going around and getting different content creators from different NFL teams and basically interviewing them. I'm going to probably start that next week. I'm still getting some guests lined up, but I'm leaving tomorrow from Denver and going back to my house. And so I should be able to do a few streams next week. This week has just been really busy. Same with last week. What's the conference for? I already said that. What is this conference for anyway? Ben already said that. And by the way, go check out CarCast channel. I don't know if you do any more content. I haven't really seen any more content. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to you, but it's been a long time no see. CarCast. We'll have to catch up sometime. Bebop Jones in here, sub camper. Thank you for, all the regulars in here. We got Grandizer, we got Bebop Jones, who's kind of becoming a regular. So thanks for the support. Payo Time, I appreciate you coming in here. I need to have you on again. I might actually text you soon. Oh yeah, that's right. I did text you and you said you were busy. But we're going to have to link up soon, Payo Time, because I definitely love collabing with you. Let's see. I was joking. I don't see the Rams getting any new running backs. Yeah, I just don't think. I feel like especially for aging running backs that do tend to get injured quite a bit, it's like I don't see them getting anybody like that. And I don't mean to I just think that the Rams at this point are good with going cheaper options. I think that they drafted a running back too, so it's like, why would you do that? Why would you get an aging running back? Not only is he probably maybe even going to get injured, it's also like that aging running back is because you're not necessarily a Super Bowl contender and there's questions at the quarterback position. That aging running back won't come for a discount. Like, he's not going to come to your team for a discount. And so you're going to have to probably pay a premium price for a guy who's really not paying that for. Cook would be a player. He would probably do well with Akers. Yeah, I could see that because Dalvin Cook's a very, very, very good receiving back. So I G2G to supper. I have a great stream. Oh, got to go. G2. Again, sleep deprivation is the worst thing. Never get not enough. Man, I have not been in it today for sure. I am reading comments all wrong. Ben, did you represent a state? Which state? No, so basically just like Colorado House of I think it's called the Colorado House of Representatives. No, I did not represent a state. I did a United Nations conference. I represented the country of Angola. Anyways, yeah, Angola. Had to do research on the country and their current politics. Cool. Well, anyways, let's get to a little bit more of the football talk. So Dalvin Cook, where do I think he's going to go? I think a name, and I agree with this name completely, that he's going to, I think the name that most likely he is going to go to, and this is kind of a flyer team, you have to go with the Cowboys. And the reason why I say that, and maybe he's not going to go there, but I think the Cowboys are the most likely team for a few reasons why. Number one, you put him next to Tony Pollard, and that automatically becomes the number one rushing duo in the league. Not only that, you can basically, I said to my brother a few days ago when Dalvin Cook first actually officially got released by the Vikings, you can basically pair Dalvin Cook. And Dalvin Cook at this stage in his career, I think, needs to be limited in his snaps. Hold on. So you guys can follow me a little bit easier. Let me put a banner up. Dalvin Cook top landing spots. Okay, so Dalvin Cook top landing spots. But anyways, so I think the Cowboys are really the top team. Again, I said this to my brother a few days ago. For Dalvin Cook to go to the Cowboys, I think that would be great because at this point in Dalvin Cook's career, you would have to limit his snaps because, yes, I think he played a full season last year, but the season before that with the Vikings, he was injured quite a few games. And I just think at this point in his career, I think even Derrick Henry is getting to that point where, running backs are not valued as much as they used to be. But also, it's like Dalvin Cook isn't a workhorse running back anymore. So you pair him with Tony Pollard, they can split the reps. Dalvin Cook, on top of that, is a very good receiving running back. So it's like you pair that with Dak. I mean, that to me is the number one team. And I think he'd be willing to go to the Cowboys for a discount because it's like the Cowboys – I mean, they have a very good defense. They have top 5 defense. They're a relatively good Super Bowl contender. So he'd probably go there on a discount. I'd say the Cowboys. Again, we'll see. But that, to me, is like you don't have to play him too much. You can limit his snaps. And that would be a great area for him to go to. Another team that I think is kind of a flyer, and this team, if they don't get DeAndre Hopkins, I think both DeAndre Hopkins and Dalvin Cook are going to be closer to training camp pickups. I think whoever gets him or gets both of those guys, Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Hopkins, is probably going to be a close to training camp pickup, if you guys know what I mean. So I'd say with Dalvin Cook, another team that I think is going to be a number one team or a top team in there is the Chiefs. Because even though the Chiefs have Pacheco and they have Jerick McKinnon, they kind of resurrected Jerick McKinnon's career. And then obviously Pacheco had a great first year. They have those two running backs. But hear me out. Jerick McKinnon's not much of a running back. He's more of a guy that can receive out of the backfield. And he's really running-wise is not great. Pacheco is like the 49ers did this the year that they went to the Super Bowl. They said, okay, we're fine with the running back group that we had. And because they had – the year before that they had Tevin Coleman, they had Raheem Mostert, and they had Jerick McKinnon as their 3 running backs the year that they made it to the Super Bowl in 2019 or 2020, I guess. And the thing that I would say with that is – you can never have enough running backs on your roster. Plus, there's always a chance that Pacheco is going to get injured. If he gets injured, what depth do they really have? I think they still have the guy. I think they still have Ronald Jones from last year. But I don't know. It's like you bring in Dalvin Cook. He's probably willing to pay for you and willing to take a discount to win a ring. It's just I think with Dalvin Cook, that would be one of the best landing spots. And again, the Chiefs are going to be in the market for any big name player looking to get signed because they're just a big name team. They're a big market team. So Chiefs are one. Let me know what you guys think on that one. And then I'd say another team that you have to look at is the Eagles. The Eagles losing Miles Sanders. It's like, yeah, you got they got the running. They replaced him with DeAndre Swift and I guess they replaced him with DeAndre Swift, and then they got another guy. To me, I think anytime you go to a contender, all of the contenders are going to be in the market for this guy. But I'd say the Eagles maybe it would be fantasizing if they were to get Dalvin Cook. I think at this point they probably need DeAndre Hopkins a little bit more. So yeah, Chiefs, Cowboys. I saw another interesting team. I can pull it up here. Let's see. There was a few other teams that I had. Let's see. I honestly did not. I haven't had a lot of time to prepare for what I would have. Let me know where you guys think he will land. I think Cowboys was the one that stood out to me the most. Let's see here. We have about 5 minutes left before everything's going to get busy again, so I'm going to move on. From what I read that recently, there was a supposed trade with Dallas with the Vikings for Cook. However, didn't hear any of the proposed details. Yeah, there was a lot of apparently, my guess is the Vikings were asking for too much, and not many teams were hesitant to give up like a 4th-round pick for him because it's like Zach Charbonnet, for example, went in the 4th round this year. And Zach Charbonnet is one of running back from UCLA, went in the 4th round of the draft, went to the Seahawks. Any Seahawks fan would know. But Zach Charbonnet, to me, like, there are a lot of good running backs in the later rounds that you can get in every single draft. And a lot of teams' opinions are, why get a guy like Dalvin Cook who probably does – I just don't know if he has – there's question marks with him. Why get a guy like that when you can get a young – really just a really young, fresh running back? And running backs of these days is a very replaceable position. So I just don't think very many teams were willing to give up anything for Dalvin Cook. And if you're the Vikings, it's like, okay, at the most we can get for him is like a 5th-round pick. Is it really worth it? Let's just cut him and get the cap space back. So, yeah, that's what I would do for Dalvin Cook. I'm going to, again, I hear some noises over here. Hi there. I believe I think it's just those doors over there on the side. Anyways, so Dalvin Cook, yeah. Okay, so let's read that comment. I heard there was a deal that was close to being done with the Dolphins. Oh, actually, I heard that there was a deal that was close to being done with the Dolphins. However, after the Dolphins drafted A-Chain in the 3rd round, the deal fell through. Zero need for Cook. Yeah, again, it's a passing league these days, and I just don't know how many teams were interested. I mean, Cook had last year, if you look at his numbers, he had over 1,000 yards, and he had one of the best seasons of his career. But the year before that, he was out for a lot of the year, and it's just like with running backs, you can never really tell. That's why the 49ers actually do a great job, because they just surround themselves with so many running backs that are solid, that are on rookie deals. And it's that type of position that you rinse and replace, or you throw away and replace. You get running backs that are cheap on rookie deals that are promising, and then after 4 years, you replace them, because that's just where the market is going these days. And that's why I think like someone like Derrick Henry, the reign of Derrick Henry is probably over. And that's why like the Titans offense is kind of getting old, because it used to be that the Titans could just rely on Derrick Henry to carry their offense. But now it's looking like teams have kind of caught up to what the Titans do. And last season, their offense was one of the worst in the league. And so the Titans are going to have to – all the teams that run the ball and don't have a balanced running to passing attack are going to have to adjust. Would Jags be a good spot? I actually never thought of that. That is a very, very good point. That's a very good point. Jags would be an amazing spot for Dalvin Cook. You pair him with ETN, and ETN was injured a little bit of last year. That would be a great spot for the Jags. I told Vikings content creators they'd be lucky to get a pick for Cook. Any team trading for Cook would be doing the Vikings a favor. Yeah, they would. And the thing is at this point, it's like, okay, there's probably a team offering like a 6th-round pick. At this point, you're the Vikings. You just cut him because you're like, we might as well just get the full amount. Like, if you were to trade him, you'd probably have to pick up some of his salary cap. And so is it really worth trading him for a portion of his salary cap when when he is aging, and when if you're in the Vikings position, sorry guys, if you're in the Vikings position, might as well just cut him, get the full amount that you would get from cutting him, instead of trading him and having to pick up part of his salary, if you guys know what I mean. And I think the Vikings would probably pick up part of his salary for a 4th-round pick, but if you're trading him for a 6th-round pick, what is the point? The Vikings are up against the cap. Vikes would have would have to give up a pick with Cook. They'd have to take the loss either way via trade or cutting him. Yeah. 49ers set the pattern to have running back by committee. That is smart. Yeah, it is. I mean, they're going to rely a lot on Christian McCaffrey, but really the thing that I think the 49ers are going to do, and they have to do it, because Christian McCaffrey switched teams halfway through the year. If you're Kyle Shanahan, don't work Christian McCaffrey early in the year, I would think. Early in the year, you have to rely on that running back by committee. I hope we do, because last year we worked McCaffrey into the ground for a lot of the later part of last season. In my opinion, you can't do that. You can't do what you did with McCaffrey again this year all season long. You have to kind of regulate how much snaps or touches he gets. I see noise over there, guys. So real quick before I get on, I think obviously I'll be posting some of these clips later on. I'll be posting some show notes in the description after this stream ends, because obviously there was probably a 5-minute portion where I wasn't even streaming. So I'm gonna obviously post some ways to navigate where you guys want to go in this stream, because there was a good part of the stream where I wasn't streaming. I don't know. I'm saying the word stream too much, so bear with me, guys. I've had very little sleep. When is your conference over? I'm driving back tomorrow morning, so tonight it's going to finish. Yeah. DeAndre Hopkins, though. I kind of have covered this a little bit, and when the news came out about DeAndre Hopkins was when, I was kind of getting into the busier parts of my just finishing school and then obviously getting prepared for this. And so I wasn't really available to really cover the DeAndre Hopkins thing a whole lot. But the thing with DeAndre Hopkins is we all talk about the Chiefs, but even the Chiefs, it's like the question with DeAndre Hopkins is how much is he willing to take? Like how much of a hit, how much less is he really going to take if he's playing with a contender? Is it 10 million? Is it 12 million? I don't know. There's really two questions. So how much money will DeAndre Hopkins, how much less money will DeAndre Hopkins be willing to take to play for a contender? And the second question you have to ask yourselves is how much, I guess, how much the deal, like how does he want a 1-year deal or does he want like a 3-year deal? Personally, I think probably 1-year deal, because if he does it good again next season, he'll get an Odell Beckham contract. If you're DeAndre Hopkins and you play for the Chiefs, obviously Odell Beckham had like $15 million a year. You play for the Chiefs, you're saying I'm taking no less than 12. In this case, the Chiefs are all the top contenders are bottom of the league as far as salary cap goes. So you have to kind of restructure some things. With the Chiefs, I'm sure it's not a problem, but it's like, I don't know. A lot of the contending teams are under the cap. The only team that actually isn't is the Ravens. They have $12 million left in cap space. And okay, let's say DeAndre Hopkins wanted like $15 million. The Ravens could spend that money. Obviously, they're going to make the post-June 1st, I think it is, cuts. I think they already did. So they have some money. They have like $13-14 million in cap space. So you could just sign DeAndre Hopkins off of the bat. So I think, believe it or not, even though the Ravens have a stacked receiving core, believe it or not, I think the Ravens are still the top team. They're an underdog team to land it. The Browns are another team, but it's like the Chiefs, the Browns don't have a ton of cap space. So how much – again, I think if DeAndre Hopkins wanted $15 million a year, the only team that is really going to be offering that is the Ravens. That's just the reality of it. Have a good weekend in case you have to run. No, my running is finished. Now, I am going to do summer training for cross country, but my running is finished. When is your conference over? Again, yeah, I already read that. So we have a little less comments. We had a lot more a second ago. So, yeah, that's really all I've got to say DeAndre Hopkins-wise. I do think it's kind of closer to a training camp signing with, like I said before, DeAndre Hopkins is going to probably be signed closer to training camp. I could even see like right before week 1, because a lot of teams, they're going to make those cuts and they're going to get quite a bit of salary cap from those cuts. So my opinion is, if you're a team like the Chiefs and you have hardly any cap space and you have to cut, right now they have like 90 guys on their roster, right? So you have to cut 90. You're going to get some cap space from those cuts in training camp, right? Because you have to go from 90 players all the way down to 50. And so you're going to get salary cap from that. And so a lot of teams, if he's not off of the market by end of training camp, the Chiefs automatically become the top team to sign him, because after training camp is over is when the Chiefs and all of the teams that are under the cap or over the cap are going to be vouching for DeAndre Hopkins more, because they will have more cap space because of the signings. So D-Hop just turned 31, June 6th. Is he on the wrong side of 31? How much do you think he has left in the tank? Yeah, this is going to be my last question because then I really do have to go. Personally, I think he has about – I think at this point, a lot of people are saying, oh, he can't win on the outside. I don't think so. I think he can still win on the outside. I think he still has enough speed to win on the outside. I think I kind of do agree with Chris Sims, though. He is a glorified slot receiver. I just don't know. Again, I don't know how much he has left in the tank. I really don't. But I do think he still has enough speed to play on the outside. So I would say he is on the wrong side of 31. He's not going to be that. I think it depends who he goes to, but I think you almost have to do what a lot of NFL teams have to do, or NFL players in his career. You almost have to do what a lot of NFL players have to do, and they have to say, just like Odell Beckham said with the Rams when he won a Super Bowl, I'm not going to be the number one dude. I'm not going to be getting all the targets like I used to be, but I am going to have a chance to win a Super Bowl. And that's where DeAndre Hopkins has to decide. Do I want to get targets or do I want to win a Super Bowl? And so if you're joining the Ravens, you have a chance to compete. But you're going to have to take less money. Same with the Chiefs. You're going to have to take less money. Whereas, like, if you're joining the Panthers, that's another team. Like, the Panthers are a team that could offer him a lot of money. But or the Bears. But the thing is like, do you want to join a team like the Panthers or Bears that are still rebuilding and probably not winning a Super Bowl? But if you joined the Panthers or the Bears, you'd be getting you'd be the number one guy getting all the targets. If you were to join the Ravens or Chiefs, it's like you'd be like the third guy. So it's just where do you draw that line? If you're an NFL player, where do you draw that line of, hey, I want this and this amount of targets, and who's willing to offer me that? If you guys know what I mean. For future stream, 3 cases for the 49ers to sign D-Hop. I really don't see that happening. Maybe 3 cases for the 49ers to not sign D-Hop. Same question applies for Cook. Dalvin Cook's not coming to the 49ers. D-Hop, maybe, but man, I don't know if that would ever happen. The Niners, not only are they up against the cap, they're kind of just not, I don't know. Maybe. I haven't put a lot of thought into that because there's no way he's coming here. And I don't even know if he would want to come here because the quarterback situation is so bad right now for the 49ers. Like, 3 cases, though. So this is where it could turn out good. Let's say somebody like Deebo Samuel or George Kittle even, because or Jawan Jennings. We're saying that let's say Jawan Jennings, George Kittle, or Deebo Samuel all get injured, or one of those 3 guys get injured in training camp. And the 49ers and DeAndre Hopkins still isn't signed by training camp. And at this point, he's probably getting desperate. The 49ers make him offer and say, hey, we can offer you $7-8 million. Would you do it if you're DeAndre Hopkins? Because if Deebo Samuel goes out, you have Brandon Ayuk, you have Jawan Jennings, you have George Kittle, but maybe you add another guy. So if DeAndre Hopkins isn't signed by training camp, yeah, and one of the guys gets injured on the 49ers, maybe that's the only case I see him coming to the Niners. But other than that, probably not. Yeah. So anyways, guys, I'm going to hop off here. This has been, except from the time that I took to find another spot from that crazy, I would suggest going back and looking at the stream before I moved here, because I started off, right, and then these guys started blasting loud music. I'd recommend going back and watching my reaction to that, because I was about to cuss them out, but I can't do that. So, yeah, man. So I'm going to be back later this week, or I guess you could say next week because it's Saturday, but I'll probably be back later next week with a guest or 2. And I'll obviously, again, if you guys haven't heard, I'll be going around the NFL trying to interview as many content creators as possible from different NFL teams, because although I would like to cover the Niners, it's one of those things where it's this type of season where there's really no news, even though there's some, but there's really no news. And so you almost have to expand your horizons to other teams, because the 49ers, like, all of the topics that I'm talking about with the 49ers is just, they're so repetitive. Everyone's talking about those topics. So I have to kind of be a little bit diverse. That's why I'm doing this. So yeah. That was your intro music. You just didn't know it. LOL. Yeah. I had this funny story before I get out of here. Well, not funny story. I was a little pissed. Basically, what happened was I had this intro. Not again, sleep deprivation. I said intro. I had this intro that I made, and it was pretty nice. I used it for 2 streams, and apparently, it's part of YouTube Music, and I had gotten it off of Canva. And I had Canva Pro, so I was like, this is probably fine. I'm not going to get copyrighted for it because I had Canva Pro at the moment. And I use it for that introduction. And my stream that I did with Engraven Vids, if you guys haven't already, I did a stream with a Ravens content creator called Engraven Vids. He has like 60,000 followers on YouTube. Really cool dude. Love doing it. So go check it out. Just Engraven Vids on YouTube. But anyways, I did a stream, and that stream ended up blowing up. Well, not blowing up, but just getting a lot of views, a lot of watch time hours. And I was like, yay. Like, not only was this a fun stream, but now I'm going to get rewarded for it. I'm going to get a lot of watch time hours. Instead, it gets copyrighted because I didn't even know that music was copyright. And so basically all of the revenue that I was going to make off of that stream, because of how big it was, got copyrighted by YouTube. So thank you, YouTube. You never disappoint. I'm just kidding. You never disappoint. So yeah, that was a big bummer. I'm obviously going to have to make a new intro. Haven't had a ton of time. So once I get back home, I'll probably make a new intro. So guys, this has been a lot of fun. We're nearing on 40 minutes. If you can't cover each 32 teams, possibly only NFC conference teams, I know it's difficult with the time to get all content creators interviewed. Yeah, that is going to be interviewed. Tough. And that's where, like, once I get big enough, I want a manager, because like that's where managers are not managers, but like assistants are so important, because they can do all of that extracurricular work that you don't have to do. I don't know if that's the right wordage. But, yeah, I'm going to try to at least get all NFC teams, or just as many teams as possible. YouTube strikes again. Yeah, it is tough. It is tough. Okay, guys. Well, I will see you guys later. This has been a great stream, actually. I had stuff to talk about. We had got people in the comments for a little while. I'll be back later on this week. Wish me luck. This is my last day here. And, guys, it's been a ton of fun. Go Niners. We'll see you guys again later this week. Like I said, go Niners.